There are thousands of cold email videos on YouTube right now, and most of them aren't even wrong. The advice is fine. The problem is that nobody's actually showing you what to do with it. There's been over 100 million cold emails that have gone through instantly, and in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the whole system, how to build a list, how to set up the infrastructure, how to write the emails, build the sequence, and handle the replies, start to finish. Look, most people think cold email is a copy problem. Email isn't converting, so they'll rewrite it. They'll have a new subject line. They'll have a tighter opener. There'll be a different ask, but still nothing. Here's the issue. Cold email isn't one problem. It's 5 problems that all need to work together. The list, the sending infrastructure, the email itself, the sequence, and how you handle replies. And if you miss any of those, the rest can't save you. Most senders spend all of their time on the email and ignore everything underneath of it. That's why they plateau and they stay stuck. So step 1 is we want to build a list that does the work for us. Look, if your list is wrong, nothing else matters. The list is probably 80% of your result before you write a single word of copy. And a good list isn't just people who could theoretically buy from me. No, it is narrow, it is specific, and there is a clear reason why this particular person would want to hear from you right now. Things like, not just like a marketing agency owner, more like marketing agency owners, US based, 10 to 50 employees, actively hiring for paid ads, because that one hiring signal can tell you that they're growing, that they have budget, that they're already thinking about ad spend. This becomes a completely different conversation and a completely different avatar that you're sending an email to. So we need to get specific on who we're sending to and exactly why those people would actually care before we do anything else. So if I go to instantly.ai, I can pop over to what's called their super search. And basically they have a database of over 450 million verified leads that I can then pull from. And these aren't just a bunch of random lists that I'm gonna have to buy or get sunked into. I can actually build my own list depending on who it is that I'm actually looking to target. So if I wanted, anybody who is a CEO and I wanted the industry to be in marketing and advertising, just like the list that I kind of gave you, and I want anywhere from 1 to 25 employees, and then I can pull things like their revenue levels. I can pull the job listings, like if they're hiring for somebody specific. I can look for signals based off of social activity, based off of buying intent, based off of growth signals, and way more. This allows us to build the strategy around the person, the avatar, because what we build around the avatar, what we build around the list is going to be relevant and actually get responses. That's where we want to start with this. And the cool thing is all I need to do is click find emails. And what it will do is it will fully enrich their profile, meaning it will give me a lead list that has not only a verified email, but it'll give me their headline, their industry, their job level, their LinkedIn profile, their LinkedIn heading, etc. And this allows me to now use AI to come up with personalized lines, write emails, etc. based off of the enriched data directly inside of Instantly. So absolute no-brainer to use this when building a list and getting relevant information and signals that you can then use for your campaign to have better success with your campaign. Step number 2 is going to be the part that nobody teaches. The list is built, instinct is now, okay, let's just start freaking sending. Don't, please, okay? This is where most unperforming campaigns are actually failing, and nobody figures it out because it looks like a copy problem. Email providers are constantly scoring how you send, domain age, volume, authentication, engagement, complaints. All of it feeds into what's called a sender reputation. And low reputation means that your emails don't land in inboxes. It doesn't matter how good the copy is. You're gonna get it in the spam or you're gonna get blocked entirely. Most people tank their reputation before the campaign even starts. They send from their primary domain. They'll use a single inbox at super high volume with no warm up on fresh domains. They'll miss the SPF, DKI, and DMARC authentication. They'll add links and images in the first email. What it actually needs to look like is separate sending domains, never your primary domain, multiple inboxes per domain, up to 5 email accounts per one domain. So that would be about 30 emails a day per every single email account. That's how you scale volume without basically wrecking a domain. And then the other thing is we want to warm up before we touch anything, okay? Minimum of 2 weeks so that your health score is 100%. And if you want to skip the manual setup entirely, Airmail inside of Instantly handles all of this for you, which I'm going to show you here in a second. Basically, it's a mailbox infrastructure built specifically for outbound. You can spin up hundreds of inboxes in minutes with no Google or Outlook sending limits, no third-party provider dependent dependencies built from what we've learned after watching millions and millions of emails go out. So if your campaigns are underperforming right now, audit this before you touch your copy, because 9 times out of 10, the problem is here. So let's just take a look at how we can easily look at this and set this up inside of Instantly. So if I go to Instantly, on the left-hand side, you'll see what's called the email counts. Inside of here, you'll be able to see all of our different email counts that are set up that need reconnecting. I can see the health score, etc., etc. If I wanted to make sure I was set up for success from like an infrastructure perspective, what I would do is I would go to add new, and then I would either connect existing accounts if you have existing accounts, or I would do the done for you email setup. The two options on the done for you email setup would be airmail, which is what we just talked about, or you could set it up from like a Google Gmail. So for this case, you could just basically say, oh, my domain is agencyu.co. And what it will do is it'll find similar domains to your main domain, because again, we don't want to send from our main domain. Then directly inside of here, what you'll be able to do is set up your forwarding domain, put the email that you want for each one, and then we can see that it automatically bought the domains and it's setting up 5 inboxes per domain. And then once I place the order, all of the domains automatically will show up in my email accounts. And then once I click into this, I can go ahead and check my health score. I can see how many emails have been received, how many sent, how many landed in spam, etc., etc. And this is going to be critical to making sure that we are good to start sending. So super, super simple to do it without any technical background needed, so that you can do this safely in one tool like I just did in just simply a couple of clicks. And once we have these 5 emails set up, now we'll be able to send 30 emails a day per each email. And that's, again, how we're gonna be able to scale. Okay, step number 3 is gonna be short, relevant, and replyable. Now, what do the emails actually say? The email that most people write on Instinct is 3 paragraphs, a polished story, multiple value props, ends with, would love to find a time to connect. It loses every time, not because it's badly written, because it reads like a pitch. What works is 4 parts. Let me walk through them. 1 is the first line. You need to prove you know something about who you're talking to. Again, we pulled the list, we made it relevant. Let's use that in our first line. Not something like, oh, I came across your profile, something actually specific to them. I saw you running ads that are targeting homeowners in Austin. I just noticed you opened up a second location in Phoenix. Things that actually keeps them reading, that makes it relevant to the person that you're sending an email to. Next is the problem. Okay, we need to just name the specific pain, not the category, not struggling to get leads, the actual version, cost per lead going through the roof, no predictable pipeline, spending too much to acquire a customer. The more specific, the more that it'll feel like you are writing it for them. Next up is going to be the solution. If you have a case study, then like add 1 sentence with like a real number, client name, result, and the process that you use to help get them there. If you don't have results yet, use like a unique mechanism, like a specific name for the way you do what you do, like the home service trust funnel, or like the 3-touch reactivation system. Like we use the unique mechanism to get specific outcome. A defined process will signal to the person that's seen it that it is unique, it is a mechanism, and you know what you're doing. Okay, and then last part of the email is going to be the offer. Do not ask for a call. Give them something free, give them something tangible, something that they can say yes to in 5 seconds that makes it a no-brainer to them. In the first line, like I mentioned before, like you're not writing that manually. We went over the list, we showed you how to enrich data. You're literally creating an AI column that can do that for you at scale. So let me just kind of back up real quick. So if I go to the lists that we were able to pull, if I go to my super search, go to lead list, but we're able to write AI emails, AI first lines based off of what's actually relevant to them. So again, like we would want to make sure our first line is relevant depending on what it is that we're actually selling in the email. So this is where you can come up with the relevant first line. We want it to be relevant to what you're selling, and that's going to be very, very dependent on your actual list. Okay, so that's again why we want to make sure that our list is super, super dialed in. So once we have that first line dialed in, all we need to do, click add column, use AI, and then you can write an opening line, research company if you wanted to get even more deep. But let's just say I wanted to write an opening line, select the LLM directly inside of Instantly. Let's just say I wanted to use Anthropic Claude, and then I could just see the result and just see what could map to. Now, once I'm good with this, all I need to do is go to campaigns, add a new campaign, name the campaign something, and click on continue. Then what's going to be created is a campaign for our customers. And what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to add our leads to this campaign. The first line will automatically be added to our lead, so it's really easy to find. And then if I go to sequences, I can directly write my email inside of here. Or in this case, it'd be, hi, first name, saw you're running ads targeting homeowners and location, wanted to reach out. Personalized lines could be relevant all the time, depending on how specific you want to get. Again, like this list, was specifically for people that are running ads targeting specific people. So all I really need to do was just flip out the location because that was the list that we scraped. Most people we work with are dealing with costs per lead going through the roof, not having a predictable pipeline and spending too much to acquire a customer. We just help Johns. So this is the problem. So relevance, problem, solution, offer. Could I send over the 3 ads that I've been ripping for them, custom for your business, completely free that you could run? Yeah, I would freaking do that all day. Step number 4, where most replies actually come from. Look, most people think that their first email is where the action is, okay? It's not. The majority of positive replies come from follow-ups. People were busy when the first email landed. They may be meant to reply, but they forgot. 2 days later, the follow-up email catches them at the right moment. Okay, if you're sending one email and waiting, you're walking away from most of your pipeline. But lazy follow-ups don't work either. Each follow-up needs to give them a reason to respond and basically iterate the offer that you're implying in the first email. First follow-up, I would add some social proof, and then I'd re-offer the same offer that you had in the first email. Second follow-up, I would do a little bit of an urgency, something real, like if you can actually do it, but don't make it manufactured because that could actually backfire. But after that, that's it. We're done. 2 emails. If somebody doesn't respond to this, we can actually filter inside of instantly, pull people who opened all of the emails or didn't respond to any of the emails. And then guess what? We put them in a different campaign with a different angle and a different offer. That's how we make this work. So simply inside of Instantly, we're in this campaign right now. All I need to do is just go here and I can create a second email. If I click add step, boom, follow-up email already there. Subject line, leave empty because it's going to pull the first one. And then following up on getting those ads over to you. They're the same ones that just got Billy's plumbing 4 new HVAC installs last week. Let me know. So the second follow-up, very, very simple. Hey, closing the loop here on sending over the ads. Reply yes and I'll shoot it over. Otherwise, feel free to hit us up if you'd like to learn more or have any questions about your client acquisition. Okay, because again, what we're going to do with these leads is we're going to recycle them. No brainer, yes, if it makes sense. They already see the thread of the email, so I don't need to like resell myself necessarily. I just wanted to be really short, sweet, focused on sending over the ads and focus on client acquisition using those. So super simple, super straight to the point. Section number 5, the bridge to booked calls. Replies are coming in. This is where most people actually fumble it because it's cool to get a reply, but it's even cooler is to actually get a reply to actually book a call. I've seen campaigns generating great positive replies, actual interest, but the calendar is empty. Slow responses, generic answers, too much friction in the booking step. The campaign works, the follow through doesn't. Speed matters more than people think. Okay, when someone replies to a cold email, the window is tiny. Okay, first 5 to 10 minutes, they're still engaged, they're checking their email, they're on their email. Every hour after that is like a reason for them to just like move on, okay, and not reply. Your first reply has one job: remove friction from the next step. Answer briefly, deliver on whatever you promised, whether it's like a calendar link or something along those lines, and give them the one simple action to do, okay? Not a wall of text, okay? Not 5 qualifying questions. All we need to do is do that. We need to make the path as frictionless as possible. The goal right now is just to get them on the phone. Everything else gets sorted from there. How do we manage replies at scale? How do we respond quickly? So when we get replies, what's going to happen is people are going to be responded into what we called a unibox. So I can see people that are leads, interested, meeting booked, meeting completed, won, etc. So you'll be able to quickly respond through the unibox. Austin, how do I respond fast? Because like I'm busy, I'm growing my business, I'm doing other things inside of my business. That's where the reply agent comes in to play. So if I go to AI agents, what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to set up a reply agent. If I click on add new, if I click on AI reply agent, what I'll be able to do is turn this into an example, and then I can either make it human in the loop, which would basically be they'll notify you and then you respond, or I can make it fully autonomous. Then what we just need to do is we just need to train it. So what we basically need to set it up is on the campaigns. So based off of like a tag that we have inside of our campaign, we can then train it on the communication style. We can then train it on the context, handover escalation, and other guidelines and information. Now what's gonna happen is when somebody gets a response, the AI agent is going to respond automatically. So anytime somebody responds, I can see the activity feed of the responses. If there's anybody that requires a review, I could see the resolution rate, involvement rate, how many actions in the last day, how much time saved, etc., etc. All done directly inside of the Unibox inside of Instantly. So now I'm no longer wasting time replying to emails. This is booking emails for me end to end. The natural next question is what's actually working in 2026 specifically? Okay, what's changed? What's different? What needs to be adjusted? Click on the video on the screen because I'm going to show you exactly how I made 150 million just from cold email. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.